The balance between school and sports can be challenging. For ecology student April Martinig, that balance could be one of the most challenging yet unique, as her days were spent studying squirrels as an ecologist and training in amateur wrestling.
It's quite hard because your supervisor for your Ph.D., so the professor that supervises you, kind of expects that your life revolves around your research. But on the flip side, your wrestling coach expects that your life revolves around wrestling. So therefore, those two things are a little bit at odds. For me, I find that I view wrestling as something that helps me successfully do my PhD work, which helps to say no when I need to take a break from research to do the thing that helps me do my research, wrestling. And so it's a bit of a juggle, especially when two people who are pretty much my bosses in my life both want me to spend all my time every day doing work for them. The thing that I think about the most, though, is without the other wouldn't work for me.
Martinig initially wanted to go into medical school. However, she chose the way of ecology thanks in part to a video she was shown in class.
I ended up in my undergrad thinking I was going to go to med school, and so I was going the biosci route that pretty much every pre-med student ends up going. And I was going through that, where in your second year you have to take an intro class to ecology, biochemistry, genetics, all the things. And when I was in the ecology class, they had showed this video of a parasitic wasp laying its eggs inside a caterpillar.
Despite wrestling in high school, it wasn't until she was going for her master's when she was approached about joining the Pandas wrestling program.
I ended up not really even thinking about it when I was in my undergrad because of injuries. And then when I was in my master's, it was something that didn't even cross my mind as a possibility, per se. And then when I got here to the U of A, I started wrestling in the room, and our coach made it very clear that he was like, no, you're varsity. Like, you are definitely good enough to be varsity.
The end goal for Martinig is to one day become a professor. However, the path to becoming an ecology professor has its own set of challenges.
So what I'm doing right now is my doctorate. It's a PhD. But afterwards, you end up having to do these like little mini job contracts for 1 to 2 years at different universities all over the world. And the idea with that is it helps you become a well-rounded scientist, so that way one day when you are a prof, you aren't just an expert in squirrels. In my case, I'll hopefully get some experience with amphibians, with fish, with birds, different things, so that way I'm much more diverse, and a university can then see, okay, like, she doesn't just know squirrels, she knows more.
For the University of Alberta Golden Bears and Pandas, I'm Jordan Clark.